Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Webos. Welcome in, guys. Sports with Balls. Cannot wait to get this show going. As a matter of fact, let's do it right now. What do we got here? Remove that? I don't want to remove that. Welcome in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however you're tuning in, whether it's podcast version, whether it's live stream. And if you're tuning in live stream, please feel free. Leave a comment. I'll get to them as soon as I can, man. Welcome into the show. Got a hell of a show for you. Heavy on the NFL. NBA, I'm not going to get into it. Major League Baseball's over. There's a few contracts that we can maybe talk about that people upcoming. Bregman, Garrett Cole, people like that. But mainly, we're going to stick to the NFL because that is what's going on. The trade deadline was yesterday. It had some big moves. But first, as always, I want to thank our sponsors. Number one, Christian's Tailgate Bar and Grill. Just get over there, man. Award-winning food. The place is absolutely phenomenal when you're going to a sporting event. The Tyson fight coming up on Netflix. Pretty sure they're going to have that. They have college games on Saturdays. They have specific bars dedicated for NFL. This Sunday night coming up, Texans and Lions. I'm sure they'll have a huge event for that. Bills Mafia has one of their get-togethers at one of these bars. So go to christianstailgate.com, find one near you. Mark Thiessen at Thiessen Law Firm. TheTexasTrialAttorney.com. Enough said, man. 713-864-9000. Give Mark a call over there. Those guys are phenomenal. And, of course, Wesley Butler at Butler CCS Incorporated. Fire, water, mold, roofing, you name it. Wes has got you covered. All right, what is today? National holidays, November the 6th. Wow. Thanksgiving coming up, everything. Wow. This place is this year is cruising by. National Nacho Day. If you want some nachos, go to Christian's Tailgate. They got badass nachos. What else we got? By the way, congratulations to the new President Donald Trump. I believe it's pretty much called that he won. So Trump will be the next president of the United States, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. Dog Film Festival Day. What do we got? International Day for Preventing the Exploration of the Environment in War and Armed Conflict. Yes, that's a day. Who came up with that? No idea. The National Basketball Day. Wow, maybe we will talk a little NBA today. National Basketball Day. Where else we got? National Saxophone Day. Never could play an instrument like that. National Stress Awareness Day. That's a big one for me. Team Manager Day. And then, man, that's pretty much it, dude. So go eat some nachos. Is that today? I don't know who that is. I'm looking at birthdays now. Lamar Odom. Happy birthday to you. The ever-changing Lamar Odom. Oh, here's a huge one. Pat Tillman. The late, great Pat Tillman. Happy birthday to him, of course. And, yeah, that's it for November the 6th. All right, let's get into this national football stuff, man. Let's get into the trade deadline. Who won? Who lost? Let's go. The end of the trade deadline was yesterday. Let's start off with the Kansas City Chiefs. First off, I just want to say that Monday Night Football game, I stay away from trying to say the refs change games and that things are fixed. But I'm really starting to buy into this Kansas City Chief thing, man. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won the game. I'm just saying that there were penalties not called that should have been called, both sides of the ball, and penalties were called against the other team. It's just, oh man, dude, that Buccaneers game, that Monday Night Football game with Baker Mayfield and the Bucs and the Kansas City Chiefs was phenomenal. And again, the referees got in the way. There should have been an offensive false start called. We all saw it. There should have been other penalties called. I think there was in the first quarter, there was a 3rd and 4, and the Buccaneers got the first down, but then there was a holding penalty. I think Baker ran for the first down, then there's a holding penalty. It just happens more often than not for the Kansas City Chiefs in their benefit, and it's starting to drive me effing insane. And like I said, I'm not a big believer in things are fixed, but man, if you start watching these Kansas City Chiefs games, it just looks like it is. Let's be honest. It does. And I like the Kansas City Chiefs. I love Mahomes. I think he's fantastic. It just looks like the fix is in for them. And it drives me nuts. But they end up before the trading deadline getting DeAndre Hopkins. Great pickup. He is a red zone threat still. And, he's not old, but he's older. But DeAndre Hopkins looks like a great fit for them. So as far as winning the trade deadline, Kansas City Chiefs, they got DeAndre about 2 weeks ago. I believe they came out on top. And, of course, you saw Hopkins get a touchdown. I think he has 2 touchdowns now with the Chiefs already. Great acquisition by them. After losing, obviously, Rashid Rice. And the Chiefs are there. The Chiefs are there. They're the best team in the NFL. They're undefeated. Do they have help? I believe they do have help. But Kansas City Chiefs pick up that. Now, the next winner of the trade deadline, the Detroit Lions, who picked up Zadarius Smith. Because earlier in the season, obviously, they lose Aiden Hutchinson to a broken leg. I think that was week 6. And they pick up an incredible defensive end. Great edge rusher, Zadarius Smith. And now the Lions get better. They're already a great team, and now they get better. And now the Houston Texans have an issue on Sunday night. That's going to be an interesting football game. I think this is sort of a litmus test on the Houston Texans or where they stand with this Detroit Lions game coming up Sunday night in Houston. Should be a blast down there at Reliant Stadium. So Detroit, winners of the trade market again. Now, here's some other interesting deadline acquisitions. The Steelers get Mike Williams for a 2025 fifth-round pick from the Jets. Look, Mike Williams is injury-prone. He didn't fit in New York. Maybe he can be DeAndre Hopkins-esque like the Chiefs in Pittsburgh. We'll see. I like the Steelers a lot. I do. I like the Steelers a lot. We'll see what happens over there. The Dallas Cowboys with the worst pickup in the league, in my opinion. The Cowboys acquired Panthers wide receiver Jonathan Mingo and a 2025 seventh-round pick for a 2025 fourth-round pick. Jonathan Mingo, the last 3 weeks, has had 1 reception for 1 yard. That's not a joke. I don't know where this came up, where the Dallas Cowboys somehow wow, big trade. Jonathan Mingo goes to the Cowboys. He's had 1 reception in the last 3 weeks for 1 yard. And now they have no Dak Prescott for 4 weeks. So I guess good job, Cowboys. Maybe. The Ravens acquired wide receiver from the Panthers, Deontay Johnson. Good pickup. Good pickup for them. The Ravens offense is clicking on all cylinders. I think Derrick Henry he leads in rushing attempts, he leads in rushing touchdowns, and leads in rushing yards. And when you have that, it opens up the passing game tremendously. Zay Flowers went off last week or this past Sunday. So getting another wide receiver, good for them. Because if something happens to one of their receivers, it's a plug-and-play situation for Deontay Johnson. Good for the Ravens. Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, those are your Super Bowl contenders right there. Those dudes are on point. On point. And then a couple of weeks ago, we saw that the Bills acquired Amari Cooper. Decent trade. We know Devontae Adams went over to the Jets. Texans made a late acquisition. It's not even worth. The other guys are not even really worth getting into, to be honest with you. I think the other Marshawn Lattimore got traded away from the Saints to the Washington Commanders in a great trade. The Commanders, I love this. The Commanders are going all in. Are they Super Bowl contenders? Maybe. That would be phenomenal. The last time the Commanders had this, the Washington Commanders, which then were the Washington Redskins, had this record going into, what are we in? I'll get into that in a minute. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. The last time the Washington Redskins had this record this late in the season, they won the Super Bowl. So they go all in. They pick up Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints, and good for Washington. Good for Washington. Cincinnati Bengals picking up Zach Moss. Just a little extra help because Chase Brown seems to be fitting in great with Cincinnati. But in case something happens, the Bengals picked up Zach Moss. Now, Joe Burrow is having a freaking season, guys. If you get a chance to vote MVP, not vote, but bet on the MVP right now, I would almost encourage you to go put $100 on Joe Burrow. If they end up making the playoffs and go deep in a playoff run, man, this team's dangerous. I'm going to read off his stats here in a little bit. So those are pretty much your big trade acquisitions, winners and losers. Dallas Cowboys lost. Lions win. Chiefs win. Texans, and yeah, I think Washington won, and the Jets yet to be seen. It is what it is. All right, let's get to these games this weekend, man. I'm going to stick with the NFL. Let's go over the games this weekend, starting mañana, and the huge game between the Bengals and the Ravens. I saw a stat the other day that said that Joe Burrow was 13-1. I think going into games where he was the underdog by more than 5 points, or more than 3, I think. And they're -6 right now. Give me the Bengals plus the 6 points. I know the Ravens are on fire. I get it, but I like the Bengals plus the 6, almost like the money line in this game. And the Bengals are on the map. This is not I don't want to say this is a must win for the Bengals, but man, if they go in there and they beat Baltimore tomorrow night, that is a huge, huge game for them. And that'll put them at 5-5. They'll be 4-1 on the road. And the Bengals have a chance to actually make a good run at the playoffs. Let's see who they got next. They got the Ravens, and they got the Chargers, Steelers, Cowboys. Then it really easy lightens up for them. They got the Browns, they got the Titans. Broncos should be a decent game for them. I can see I can see Cleveland actually sneaking in the playoffs here, guys. This is a big game for them. A huge game for them. What do they got? They got 2 primetime. They got 3 primetime games in the next 4 weeks. And then they've got 4 in the next 6 weeks. Wow. Wow. The Bengals are going to be all over your television. Joe Burrow this season, guys. Listen to this. 2,224 yards. 20 touchdowns and 4 picks. That's the best quarterback in the league by far right now. 20-4 with 22-5. That is insane. And Jamar Chase didn't even have 1,000 yards yet. That means he's spreading the ball around. I absolutely love Joe Burrow this week. Baltimore's good. That's going to be a fun game. Division rival. Good game Thursday night. All right, let's move to Sunday. The Sunday night game. I'm not going to get into that yet. We'll wait. We'll save that Sunday night game at the end of the Lions at the Texans. All right, we've got a game over in Munich. We've got the Giants at the Panthers. Boy, the NFL, they must hate Europe. This is another terrible football game. Daniel Jones taking on Bryce Young and company in Munich, 8:30 in the morning Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time. Right now it's Giants -6. I love the Panthers plus 6 points. I don't know why. I just think the Giants are terrible. I know the Panthers are terrible too. Both these teams are 2-7. Both these teams vying for a draft pick, and we'll get into the draft here in a little bit. But I feel bad for you guys in Munich, man. If y'all are listening to this show, I'm sorry. It's not the product the NFL wants to show. And this is more than, what is this? This is 3 games over there that have been absolutely brutal football games in Europe. All right, Patriots at the Bears over here in the homeland, Chicago, Illinois, Soldier Field. Chicago -6. They haven't been playing good lately, but they are 4-0 at home. And the Patriots are 1-4 on the road. I like Drake May, though. I don't know. I'm going to hold off on that one. I don't exactly know where I'm going to go with that. Bears haven't looked that great. Neither of the Patriots, but I like Drake May and the way that they've been playing lately. Let me check out these Patriots scores real quick. They barely lost to the Titans. That's pretty bad. They beat the Jets. They lost to the Jags. They got killed by the Texans. Barely lost to the Dolphins. Killed by the 49ers. Man. They beat the Jets. Lost to, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to leave that one alone. I am definitely going to leave that alone. That is a rough game to start with. So we'll go past that. Bills at the Colts. This should be a fun game. The line is only Buffalo -4. The Colts are actually a really good football team. They should have beaten the Texans. They should have a winning record. This is a good football game. And now, of course, they benched Anthony Richardson. They lost to the Vikings 21-13 in a hard-fought game. Vikings are one of the best teams in the NFL. I like the Colts a lot. Now, them playing the Bills, they're at home, though. I feel like this is a trap game. I do. Can Joe Flacco bring it home in Indianapolis? Wow. I don't know. That game's got me confused. Bills, the Bills are good. Are they -4 good? Are the Colts are the Colts that good? They're 4-5. They should be 5. They should be 5-4 for sure. Wow, that's a tough game. I don't know. I'll come back to that one. Broncos at the Chiefs. Right now, Kansas City -8. Coming off that Monday night game. I like the Broncos plus the 8. It's a short week, not too short, but it is a short week because the Monday Night Football game, they're playing Sunday at noon. Yeah, I like the Broncos plus the 8 points. The Broncos, Bo Nix seems to have found a little bit of a groove there in Denver. And if I'm a Denver Bronco fan, I'm pretty excited about the future. It looks good. They do need a running back. Their defense is actually pretty good. Broncos have a shot at making the playoffs. That could be really interesting. And Bo Nix, pretty good quarterback over there. Patrick Mahomes, by the way, guys, Patrick Mahomes, I just said Joe Burrow, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Pat Mahomes has less than 2,000 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. 9. This Broncos defense is pretty good. I would almost go Pat Mahomes. I'm sure they're going to put it at a half of an interception, but I would go Mahomes with an interception in this game and take Broncos plus the 8 points. This will be a good battle. That is a division rivalry, and that's going to be a hard-fought game. I like the Broncos plus the 8 points in that. And it's in Kansas City. If it was in Broncos territory, that'd be a hell of a game, but we'll see what happens. Falcons at the Saints. Falcons are 6-3, 3-0 on the road. New Orleans is heading in the wrong direction. It's brutal to watch. After those first 2 games and after the beatdown they gave the Cowboys in week 2, you thought this Saints team was off and running. They have since dropped 7 games in a row and are probably going to lose their 8th. Now, this is a huge rivalry game. Falcons and Saints, they hate each other. They're right down the street from each other, and they hate each other. So it only has Atlanta -3.5. I like Atlanta a lot. I'm going to write that one down too. ATL -3. 49ers at the Bucks. 49ers -5.5. The big news here is Christian McCaffrey. He was at practice this week, and we're going to find out if he's going to play by Friday and or Saturday morning. And it sucks for you, Mason, if fantasy football-wise. If you have Jordan Mason, ouch. Because Christian McCaffrey coming back means Mason is almost irrelevant. I'm sure they're going to ease him in. I don't know if I play Mason this week. If McCaffrey's healthy, they're not going to overload him. He's going to have to get back in football shape. So I don't know. But Mason on the year, 685 and 3 touchdowns only. That's rushing. He has a couple receiving as well. George Kittle, big play this weekend. Huge play. The over-under in that 49ers-Bucks game is 50.5. Woo. Bucks at home plus 5.5. They should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I kind of like the Bucks plus the 5. I do. I think that they're going to have McCaffrey in there. It's going to throw him off a little bit because he's not ready. So give me the Bucks plus 5.5. I got a lot of underdogs this week. Not a lot of chalk bets. Steelers at the Commanders. Great. This is probably, for me, the game of the week. The 6-2 Steelers at the 7-2 Commanders. Steelers are 3-1 on the road. Commanders are 4-0 at home. This is Washington -3, which is basically a pick'em game. Jaden Daniels going up against Russell Wilson. Two great defenses. I love this football game. This is a good game. I'm not even betting this because I don't even know which team. This is a great football game. I cannot wait. It's on CBS. It's in Washington. We all know what just happened in the presidential election. This should be a blast. This should be a lot of fun. Vikings at the Jaguars. Vikings -4 all day long. The Jags keep getting these low spreads, and they're 2-7. I don't understand. I mean, the Eagles. This is why though. The Eagles they only lost by 5. Packers they only lost by 3. Colts they only lost by 3. Texans they only lost by 4. Browns they lost by 5. Dolphins they lost by 3. And their win versus the Colts was only by 3. Their only blowout this year was they lost to the Bears 35-16, and they beat the Patriots 32-16. Other than that, are the Bills. They lost the Bills 47-10. Other than that, they played close games. I love the Vikings in this spot. This will probably be my cover bet this week, where I will just cover it up. I'll do a couple of parlay bets and then go big on this game. Vikings are good. Jaguars are not. So give me the Vikings minus 4 points. 4 points right now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Woo, that I like already. Still got a few to go. Titans at the Chargers. Chargers -7.5. Titans 2-6. No, I'm not touching that game. It feels like a trap game to me. I'm not a Chargers believer as of yet. I just, I'm not a big fan of them. Luke McConkley, big surprise there in Chargerville. So we'll see. Eagles and Cowboys. This game should have been one of the great games of the week. Dak Prescott, we found out, obviously is on IR and will be out for at least 4 weeks. I don't know. This is the Cowboys throwing in the towel. I have no idea. But Philadelphia, this is in Dallas too. Philadelphia is favored by 7. I think Cooper Rush will be your starting quarterback in Dallas. And, I almost like the Cowboys plus the 7 points. This is a rivalry game. The Cowboys might have some renewed sense of urgency, maybe. Cooper Rush played great in filling in for Dak. Was it last year? Cooper Rush played good. And then what are they going to do with Jordan Love? You got Jordan Love sitting on the bench. I mean, why not throw him out there and see what you got? I just don't understand. The Cowboys are a mess, man. They are a mess, and this is a must-win game for the Dallas Cowboys. And they had Dak Prescott on the bench. I actually like that Cowboys plus the 7 right here. I know, Eagle fan, I'm sorry, but I feel like the Cowboys are going to play with some energy, some different energy. Maybe Dak. I don't know if Dak's that big of a locker room guy, but maybe the Cowboys feel like they can do something now. I don't know. But whenever you have a change at quarterback and Cooper Rush knows this offense, he's not scared. Give me the Cowboys plus the 7. I like it. Jets and the Cardinals round out the Sunday afternoon games. Let's see. Dolphins and Jets at the Cardinals. I'm not touching that. The both those teams look a little lost. The Jets? This is a must-win game for the New York Jets. They're 3-6. I mean, I don't know if it's recoverable at this point, but they're 3-6. If they don't win this game, the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers and their playoff hopefuls are gone. They will be 3-7 on the season if they lose that game. Golly. And Aaron Rodgers, basically Coach Rodgers, I guess, will have cost them a lot of money and a full season, or 2 full seasons, really, because Achilles out last year, and now they're 3-7 if they lose that game. Ooh, brutal for Jet fan. Brutal. All right, the big game Sunday night, Lions at the Houston Texans. 7-1 Lions, 4-0 away. Texans are 4-0 at home. Lions are -3.5, and I love that all day long. I think this is a little bit of a test for the Houston Texans to find out where they are in this season, and I don't think it's a good one. The Detroit Lions are really, really good. I get it. Texans have C.J. Stroud, but he has been inconsistent at best. He's got 11 touchdowns with 4 picks. And their running game, if the Lions stop the Texans' running game and force C.J. Stroud to throw the ball, the Lions will dominate this game. I don't see how the Texans have, and I don't know if Nico Collins comes back. I don't believe he will on this game. And they just lost another wide receiver. The Texans, man, they're in trouble with with injuries, and that's not going to help. Let's see. Lions coming off a 24-14 victory over the Green Bay Packers, and the Texans just lost to the New York Jets. And they barely beat the Colts, and before that, they lost to Green Bay. They could easily have 3 losses in a row, and now they're playing one of the premier teams in the NFL, and the spread is only 3.5 points. I'll take Detroit all day. Detroit beat Tennessee 52-14, guys, and they beat Minnesota, another great team, 31-29. They beat the Cowboys 47-9. They rung up 42 on Seattle. They've scored over 40 points in 3 of their last 5 games. And one of the other ones, they scored 31. And Green Bay, who has one of the better defenses in the league, they hung 24. We all know the Houston Texans defense is terrible. Terrible. What is the over-under on this game? 48. I might take the over. Detroit could score 40 themselves. I don't believe in the Houston Texans defense to stop the Detroit Lions team at all, and you're giving, it's only 3.5 points. Holy, you know what? I'm in. Count me in, guys. Let's see what else we got going on. Any big news before I get out of here? I got to thank Christian's Tailgate Bar and Grill. Obviously, got the Tyson fight coming up. We're going to talk about that the coming probably next week leading up to the fight. I think it's on the 10th on Netflix. That's going to be awesome. But get over to christianstailgate.com. Watch all the college football action over there and the NFL action. They got stuff going on all day, every day, man. It's crazy. Mark Thiessen at Thiessen Law Firm, the Texas Trial Attorney.com. 713-864-9000. And, of course, Wes Butler over at Butler CCS Incorporated. Fire, water, mold, roofing, you name it. Wes has got you covered. All right, other headlines. Let's run down the rankings for college football. Because we've got the college football playoffs are out. The polls are out. Oregon, number 1 in both polls, AP and coaches. The playoff ranking, sorry, AP and the playoff ranking. Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Miami at number 4, undefeated. At number 5, the University of Texas Longhorns. Penn State, Tennessee, Indiana Hoosiers. One of the 4 undefeated teams left. 9-0. Wow. BYU is number 9. Notre Dame, number 10. Alabama at number 11. And Boise State rounds out your top 12. This is a 12-team playoff system. Your first outs right now. Listen to the teams that are out of the playoff. This is the first time they've ranked these, right? So if we started today, these teams are out. SMU at 8-1. Texas A&M 7-2. The LSU Tigers out at number 15. Ole Miss out at number 16. Iowa State, Pittsburgh, both out at 17 and 18. Colorado, who is inching up the board, guys. Colorado's 6-2. Will Colorado sneak in the college football playoffs? Oh my goodness. That would be absolutely wild. They are ranked number 20th in the playoff rankings, and in the AP poll, they're ranked 21st. Guys, Colorado could sneak up into the football playoff. Wow. We'll get more into that next week. Got a big weekend of college football. I'll be back on the air either tomorrow and or Friday. Listen, guys, I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. Thank you guys for paying attention. Listen to the podcast version. See you soon.